Pinararo ng isang bus ang mga sasakyan at mga tao sa kalsada sa India.
Ating alamin kung ano ang dahilan ng insidente mula sa mga detalye ng balitang ibabahagi maya-maya. Magandang gabi, ako po si Rikki Mathay.
Ako si Rikki, Alagao, Flores. Ito ang mata ng Agila International. Para naman sa mga headlines ngayong araw ng Martes.
Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. nanindigang hindi kailangan magpadala ng warship ang Pilipinas sa West Philippine Sea.
Mga residente sa loob ng 6-kilometer danger zone ng Canlaon, puwersahang inilikas.
Taiwan naka-alerto dahil sa pinakamalaking maritime deployment ng China.
Google nag-develop ng bagong quantum computing chip.
At Ariana Grande naging emosyonal sa kanyang nominasyon sa Golden Globes. Nanindigan si Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. na hindi kailangan magpadala ng Pilipinas ng warship sa West Philippine Sea o WPS. Yan ay kahit na nananatiling agresibo ang China laban sa mga sasakyang pandagat ng Pilipinas.
Ayon sa Pangulo, the Philippines has never been an agent of escalation of tension. Hindi rin anya makikipagdigma ang Pilipinas at ang prioridad anya ng gobyerno ay ang suportahan ng mga mangingisdang Pilipino at protektahan ang territorial rights ng bansa sa WPS.
The Philippines has never been an agent of escalation of tensions, so we will not do that. All we are doing is resupplying our fishermen, protecting our territorial rights. Again, it will be provocative and will be seen as an escalation. We don't do that. The Philippines does not escalate tensions. Quite the opposite. The Philippines always tries to bring down the level of tension.
Matagumpay na naisagawa ng Philippine Fleet ang kauna-unahang pagbubuklod, pagsasama-sama, pagsisikap na serye na military exercise sa lupa at karagatan. Ayon kay Philippine Fleet spokesperson Lieutenant Giovanni Badidles, ipinakita ng exercise ang dedikasyon ng Navy sa pagtatanggol sa soberanya ng Pilipinas. Naglalaman ng ilang complicated maneuvering and live fire drills ang military exercise kung saan ipinakita ng fleet ang kanilang iba't ibang kakayahan. Kabilang po rito ang bagong unmanned aerial system ng militar. Nagsimula ang exercise noong Nobyembre 28 at magtatapos naman sa Disyembre 6 matapos ang karagdagang mga drills na nakatuon naman sa intelligence, surveillance at reconnaissance warfare.
Pinangunahan ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ang inauguration ng bagong Pilipinas Cancer Care Center sa OFW Hospital sa Pampanga. Binanggit ni Pangulong Marcos ang pangangailangan na magpatupad ng mas agresibong aksyon upang matulungan ang mga may sakit na kanser na pangalawang pangunahing sanhi ng pagkamatay sa bansa. Nagpasalamat siya sa Department of Health dahil sa pagsasakatuparan ng proyekto sa pamamagitan ng Health Facility Enhancement Program nito. Idinagdag pa ng Pangulo na inaasahan niyang mabilisan na pagtatapos ng pasilidad at ang pagbili ng kinakailangang modernong medical equipment.
Na-stress naman ang ilang mga taga-suporta ni Vice President Sara Duterte dahil sa mga kontrobersiyang nakapalibot sa kanya. Kabilang na nga rito ang umano'y maling paggamit ng confidential funds ng Office of the Vice President, ang umano'y kill remark laban sa first couple at kay House Speaker Martin Romualdez, sabina mula sa National Bureau of Investigation at impeachment complaint. At dahil po dito, humingi ng pamanhin si VP Sara sa mga na-stress na taga-suporta. Giit ng bise, Ang mga nangyayari sa kanya ay bahagi ng buhay bilang isang politiko. Kaya humingi rin siya ng pangunawa sa mga sumusuporta sa kanya, partikular na sa mga senior citizens. Nagpasalamat naman si VP Sara sa patuloy na pagsuporta at pagmamahal sa kanya ng kanyang mga taga-suporta kahit na sunod-sunod ang mga isyong kanyang kinasasangkutan.
Hinimok naman ni Justice Undersecretary Raul Vasquez si Vice President Sara Duterte na dumalo sa inquiry ng National Bureau of Investigation o NBI hinggil sa kill remark niya laban kay Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Muling binigyan diin ni Vasquez na dapat dumalo ang pangalawang Pangulo sa NBI inquiry dahil bahagi ito ng legal process. Una na kasing nag-anunsyo si VP Sara na intensyon itong hindi dumalo sa nakatakdang NBI probe sa December 11. At nitong Lunes, nag-issue ang NBI ng panibagong sabina kay Duterte para magpaliwanag ukol sa naging kill remark niya.
Target ng Pilipinas at ng Denmark na magtatag ng kooperasyon sa pagitan ng kanilang mga Coast Guards. Natalakay ito sa naging bilateral meeting ni Foreign Affairs Secretary Rikki at Danish Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen. Pinag-usapan din ng dalawang top officials ang ukol sa pakikipagtulungan ng Danish defense industry sa depensa naman ng Pilipinas. Subalit, binigyan diin ni Rasmussen na premature pa niya para sabihin may posibilidad ng Coast Guard to Coast Guard cooperation sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at ng Denmark. Bumisita rin ang Danish Foreign Minister sa headquarters ng Philippine Coast Guard sa Maynila, kung saan naman ay nabriefing siya sa kalagayan sa West Philippine Sea. Tinitingnan din ni Rasmussen ang mga hakbang na gagawin ng Denmark para mapalakas ang kapasidad ng PCG.
Balitang panahon, inaasahan ang pag-asa na may mabubuong bagyo sa loob ng Philippine Area of Responsibility o PAR sa susunod na linggo. Batay sa forecast ng State Weather Bureau, mula December 16 hanggang December 22 ay may posibilidad na may mabuong sama ng panahon sa bahaging timog ng Tropical Cyclone Advisory Domain. Dagdag ng pag-asa, kung may pumasok na bagyo sa PAR ay tatawagin itong Kerubin at ito na ang pang-17 bagyong tumama sa Pilipinas. Samantala, nananatiling nakaaapekto ang shearline, amihan at intertropical convergence zone sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa.
Puwersahan ng pinalikas ng mga otoridad ang mga residenteng nasa loob ng 6-kilometer danger zone sa paligid ng Bulkang Kanlaon. Ito ay sa pag-uutos na rin po ni Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro Jr. Ayon kay Teodoro, aabot sa 54,000 residente ang kailangang ilikas, partikular na sa bayan ng La Castella sa Negros Occidental at Canlaon City sa Negros Oriental na pinaka-naaapektuhan ng ashfall. Saad pa ng kalihim, simula pa kahapon ay nakatutok din sa kalagayan doon si Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Ipinag-utos anya ng Pangulo ang agarang pagresponde sa pangangailangan ng mga local government units sa mga apektadong lugar. Kung itataas naman sa Alert Level 4 ang Bulkang Kanlaon ay mas paiigtingin pa ang evacuation efforts sa loob naman ng 10-kilometer danger zone. Susunod, travel ban para kay President Yoon ng South Korea.
Germany at France planong makipagtulungan sa mga rebeldeng nagpatalsik kay Assad.
At Netanyahu haharap sa isang corruption trial. Ang iba pa mga balita sa pagbabalik na Mata ng Agila International.
Alam namin ang iyong pagsisik.
Well, we were asked by the
expecting a total of 54,000 people.
So yes, we are ready to support the.
Olivia, girlfriend mo ba siya?
Grabe nang magparamdam itong si Dominic.
Date na ba talaga to?
Pero sino itong biglang e-eksena?
Ex-leading lady laban sa current leading lady. Sa tingin mo may hirapan dito si Mr. Chang, ha?
Iniisip ko na mag-release ng album. Papakompose sana akong kanta. Magagawa mo ba?
Love Me, Love My Voice. Gabi-gabi, 8:30 p.m. on Net 25.
Let's get together sa Net 25. Sa Net 25.
Itinaas na ng Taiwanese Defense Ministry sa threat level na severe ang kanilang protocol dahil sa laki ng Chinese maritime fleet na nasa katubigan ng Taipei.
这个数字的的确确非常惊人，而且回过头来，这些数字所散布的位置，它已经超过了，如同我刚刚前面讲的，超过了台湾、广东在第一岛链跟第二岛链之间，所以意图是什么？我想不言而喻，我们大家都非常的清楚。
Ayon kay Defense Ministry spokesperson Sun Lifang, ito na ang pinakamalaking puwersa ng mga barkong pinadala ng Beijing sa halos 3 dekada na maihahambing sa laki ng fleet na ipinadala noong Chinese War Games na isinagawa bago ang 1996 Taiwanese election. Kahapon lamang ay inilagay sa high alert status ang Taiwanese Coast Guard at National Guard sa pagdating ng mga barko ng China. Ngayon ay minarapat nilang itaas ito sa threat level severe dahil sa balitang nagreserba na rin ang Beijing ng 7 airspace zones upang magsagawa ng aerial drills. 2 rito ay nasa himpapawid mismo ng Taiwan Strait. Ayon naman sa mga eksperto ay isa itong soft expansion kung saan ang extension o ang intensyon ng China ay gumawa ng naval wall na mag-uusog sa Air Defense Identification Zone ng Taiwan sa pagtatangka ng China na gawing internal sea ang mas malaking parte ng Taiwan Strait.
几个战区的海军的兵力呢，已经在那边形成了一个具规模的拒止外军的兵力。 那拒止外军的意思呢，就是说回过头来，在这个他们的这个兵力呢，靠近台湾这个范围里面，理论上他们已经有足够的兵力去应对可能造成的状况。那第二个呢，是我们在今天的新闻稿里面，我们也特别公布了，在我们周遭的海军跟海警的舰船变多了，而且特别这些舰船，它就在我们从昨天开始，在我们东部海域。 甚至于在东南这个附近，如果各位比较容易的去看到这个图的话，你可能会很容易的看到，在我们的东面有一道解放军海军的墙，在比较远的第一岛链太平洋的地区，在我们东面，换句话说，就在我们的防空识别区，再有一道墙。那这两道所形成的，就是把我们他想要传递的讯息非常简单，台海内水化。 所以这个事情，台海的议题由中国人民解放军、中华人民共和国他们来处理。
Ang deployment ng China ay nakatuon sa pagsasagawa ng major military exercise sa tinatawag na First Island Chain, ang parte ng karagatan kung saan kinasasaklawan din ang EEZ ng Japan, Taiwan, Pilipinas at Borneo. Parte ito ng teritoryo ng 10-dash line na inaangkin ng Beijing. Sa ngayon ay wala pang inaanunsyo ang Beijing ukol sa kanilang deployment.
到目前为止，我们并没有接获到中共官方或者是解放军宣告任何的军演，所以它都是在一个常态性的训练的这个状态之下。但是在常态性的训练状态之下，它可以动用了这么大规模的兵力，在这样大的区域范围来做这样子的这个训练， 我想值得我们关注的不仅仅是回头我刚刚讲的，由言转讯，由讯转演，由言转战，而是这样的情况之下，对周遭国家可能带来的这个影响，那还有可能造成的冲击。特色除了跟安全包中。
Pinagbawalan naman makabiyahe sa ibang bansa si South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol.
5분 10분 전에 내란 수계 피해자 윤석열 씨는 출국 금지 당한 거죠?
예, 그렇습니다.
Kasunod ito sa plano ng prosecutor na masampahan ng kasong insurrection dahil sa pagpapatupad nito ng martial law noong nakaraang linggo. Bagamat nakaligtas si Yoon sa impeachment vote sa parlamento na pinamumunuan ng mga oposisyon, ay hindi pa rin tiyak ang kanyang posisyon. Hihilingin ng mga kaalyado nito ang kanyang pagbibitiw sa pwesto at suspendihin ang kanyang panunungkulan para umano maprotektahan ang kanilang bansa mula sa matinding panganib. Magugunita pong nagdulot ng matinding galit mula sa mga mamamayan ng South Korea ang ginawang pagdeklara ni Yoon ng martial law kung saan nagsagawa ng paboto ang mga members of the parliament sa National Assembly Building para ipasa walang bisa ang nasabing deklarasyon. Matapos naman ang mahigit na 6 na oras ay binawi ni Yoon ang nasabing deklarasyon at ito ay tuluyang humingi ng paumanhin sa kanyang mga mamamayan.
Samantala, inanunsyo ng People Power Party ng South Korea na pinag-uusapan na nila ang posibleng pagre-resign ni President Yoon Suk-yeol sa pwesto sa Pebrero. Bukod sa pagre-resign, pinaplano rin ng partido na magsagawa ng isang snap election para sa magiging kapalit ni Yoon sa pagitan ng Abril o Mayo ng 2025. Humingi na ng paumanhin si Yoon para sa kanyang deklarasyon ng martial law noong nakaraang linggo na nagdulot naman ng matinding political crisis sa bansa, ngunit hindi pa rin siya formal na bumibitiw sa posisyon. Samantala, nakatakdang harapin ni Yoon ang ikalawang impeachment vote sa Sabado na maaaring magresulta sa mas maagang pagbaba niya sa pwesto.
Nagbabala si Chinese leader Xi Jinping na walang mananalo sa nakaambang US trade war. Nangako si Xi na pangangalagaan ito ang interes ng China sa oras na totohanin ni US President-elect Donald Trump ang banta nitong karagdagang taripa sa China at sa iba pang bansa. Tiniyak din ng Chinese leader na handa itong makipagdialogo sa gobyerno ni Trump upang palawakin ang kooperasyon ng Beijing at ng Washington. Bukas din ang opisyal na ayusin ng dalawang bansa ang mga pagkakaiba nito at itaguyod nila ni Trump ang pag-unlad ng relasyon ng China at ng Estados Unidos patungo sa isang matatag na direksyon.
Sa ibang balita, pinuri ni Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky si US President-elect Donald Trump bilang isa sa mga kakaunting leader na kinatatakutan ni Russian President Vladimir Putin. Ipinahayag ito ni President Zelensky matapos makipagpulong kay Trump at kay French President Emmanuel Macron sa Paris nitong weekend.
Передусім, я хочу подякувати президенту Еммануелю Макрону за те, що він організував нашу зустріч, важлива зустріч Еммануеля, моя і президента Трампа. Дуже хороша зустріч. Важливо, що вона конструктивна і атмосфера важлива, що ми розмовляємо, ми говоримо про Україну, говорили вже ж тільки про Україну і про українців, і про те, як підтримати, і які сильні українці, які вистояли всю цю навалу російської агресії, і те, що ми всі хочемо, щоб був мир. Але для нас дуже важливо, і це наша позиція, щоб мир був справедливий для всіх нас, і щоб не було можливості у Росії, у Путіна колись або ще якихось агресорів, щоб не було у них можливості повернутися. І це найважливіше – справедливий мир і гарантії безпеки, сильні гарантії безпеки для України. І домовились, що ми будемо продовжувати працювати.
Ayon pa kay Zelensky, tanging ang Estados Unidos lamang ang may kakayahang wakasan ng digmaan, ngunit binigyan din rin niya ang pangangailangan ng United Front mula sa buong mundo.
Inihayag ng Germany at France ang kanilang kahandaang makipagtulungan sa Syrian rebel groups na nagpabagsak sa kanilang presidente na si Bashar al-Assad. Ayon mismo kay German Chancellor Olaf Scholz at French President Emmanuel Macron, tinatanggap nila ang pagbagsak sa kapangyarihan ni Assad na kinikilala nila na nagdulot ng matinding paghihirap para sa mga Syrians. Sinabi pa ng gobyerno ng Germany na parehong sumang-ayon ang dalawang leaders na makipagtulungan sa bagong pamahalaan ng Syria. Subalit, may mga kondisyon kagaya ng pagrespeto sa fundamental human rights at proteksyon ng ethnic minorities sa bansa. Pinagkasunduan din ng dalawang lider na palakasin ang pakikilahok ng European Union sa Syria, kabilang na po ang suporta para sa isang inclusive political process. Samantala, nagbigay ng reaksyon ng United Nations envoy para sa Syria tungkol sa mga araw na kakaharapin ng bansa matapos patalsikin ng mga rebeldo roon si Pangulong Bashar al-Assad. Rose Papa Angeles para sa detalye.
Sinabi ni UN Special Envoy para sa Syria na si Geir Pedersen na kailangang panatilihin ng mga armadong aktor sa Syria ang mga institusyong pampubliko.
All armed actors on the ground maintain good conduct, law and order, protect civilians, and preserve public institutions. Let me urge all Syrians to prioritize dialogue, unity, and respect for international humanitarian law and human rights as they seek to rebuild their society.
Dagdag nito, wala siyang impormasyon kung nasaan na si Syrian President Bashar al-Assad.
Good question. I think we're all asking the same questions today, and frankly, I have no more information than you have.
Ani Peterson, umaasa ang UN sa maayos na transisyon para sa demokratikong kinabukasan ng bansa. Lalo na anyat ang prominenteng rebeldeng grupo na Hayat Tahrir al-Sham o HTS ay isang globally designated terrorist group na tila problema sa ilang mga institusyon.
The situation on the ground has changed dramatically. Obviously, the fact that HTS is a listed group creates challenges. It's extremely important that, as I said, that we now see on the ground a development that proves that we can achieve, a transition to what I hope will be a democratic future for Syria. And here we are following, of course, extremely closely what is happening on the ground with all armed factions. And then there are certain procedures in place that will have to be followed if they are to be delisted. That is a process that I'm not in control of, but obviously we will continue to work to try, as I said, to make sure that we have as an inclusive process as possible. But let me be honest, this is work in progress.
Noong linggo, idineklara ng mga rebelde sa Syria na napatalsik na nito si al-Assad. Ito ay matapos masugpo ng mga rebelde ang Damascus. Makaraan ng higit sa 13 civil war, tumakas si al-Assad na nagwakas sa pamumuno ng kanyang pamilya sa loob ng ilang dekada. Humarap ang mga rebelde sa malaking dagok dulot ng impluwensya ng Russia at Iran sa gitna ng rehiyon. Ang mga ito ay kaalyado na sumuporta kay Assad sa mga kritikal na bahagi ng labanan. Rose Papa Angeles para sa Matay ng Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
Ibinunyag ngayon ng Hamas na ipinagpatuloy na ng Israel ang ceasefire deal. Ayon po kay Bassem Naim, isa sa mga political officials ng Hamas, patuloy ang ginagawang negosasyon ng mga international mediators sa Palestinian group at Israel sa ceasefire sa Gaza. Umaasa itong sinasabing pag-uusap ay matutuldukan na ang gyera na umabot na sa mahigit 14 na buwan. Natigil lamang kasi ang ceasefire negotiations noong nakaraang buwan matapos na isuspinde ng Qatar ang pag-uusap sa mga mediators mula Egypt at US dahil sa pagkadismaya na walang anumang nakikita itong pag-usad sa pagitan ng Hamas at Israel. Sa kabila naman ito ay nagpapatuloy pa rin ang pag-atake ng Israel sa mga pinaghihinalaang kampo ng Hamas hanggat sa hindi pa pinapakawalan ng naturang grupo ang hawak nilang mga bihag. Ayon naman sa Hamas ay ginagamit nila ang mga bihag bilang bargaining tools upang mapigilan ang tuluyang pagsakop ng Israel sa Gaza.
Inaasahang haharap na si Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sa korte ngayong Martes para humarap sa matagal ng corruption cases laban sa kanya. Pinagbigyan si Netanyahu ng korte na i-delay ang pagsisimula ng kanyang court appearance dahil sa digmaan sa Gaza laban sa Hamas. Subalit noong nakaraang Huwebes, iniutos na ng judges ang pag-uumpisa ng kanyang pagharap na itinakdang magaganap 3 beses sa isang linggo. Si Netanyahu ay kinasuhan noong 2019 sa 3 magkakahiwalay na kaso, kabilang ang pagtanggap ng isang expensive gift mula sa kanyang millionaire friends at paghingi ng pabor sa media tycoons kapalit ng magandang coverage. Itinanggi niya ang lahat ng alegasyon na ito laban sa kanya at iginiit na wala siyang ginawang mali.
Tinawag naman ni US President-elect Donald Trump na isang weekend state na ang Russia at ang Iran. Paliwanag ni Trump sa media platform na Truth Social, ang Iran ay isa ng mahinang estado dahil sa matagumpay na pakikipaglaban ng Israel dito. Mahinang estado na rin anya ang Russia dahil sa Ukraine. Sinabi pa ni Trump na hindi na maganda ang ekonomiya ng Moscow. Anya, nawalan na ng interes ang Russia sa Syria dahil sa pakikipagdigma nito sa Ukraine. Hinikayat din ng bagong leader ng Washington ang Ukraine at si Kyiv leader Volodymyr Zelensky na makipagkasundo na dahil 400,000 sundalo na ang namamatay sa puwersa ng Kyiv. Marami na anyang buhay ang nasasayang, kaya't nanawagan din si Trump kay Russian President Vladimir Putin na aksyonan na ang nasabing sitwasyon.
Nagkita sina Prince William at US President-elect Donald Trump sa Paris, France. Si Trump ay kilalang taga-suporta ng British monarchy. Ayon sa mga lokal na balita, sinabihan ni Trump si Prince William na isang good-looking guy ito. Binanggit niya rin sa prinsipe na mabait itong tao. Nagkwento pa si Trump na kalahating oras silang nag-usap ni Prince William kung saan ay hindi niya pinalampas na kumustahin sina King Charles at Princess Kate. Sinabi naman ni Prince William na nasa mabuting kalagayan si Princess Kate habang si King Charles naman anya ay patuloy na nakikipaglaban. Dati nang naibalita na nahaharap sa matindi at personal na pagsubok ang British monarchy dahil parehong sumasailalim sa cancer treatments sina King Charles at Princess Kate.
Nagbabala si US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ukol sa kakayahan ng China na baguhin ang international order. Giit na opisyal makikipagtulungan ng Estados Unidos sa mga like-minded partners nito at iba pang kaalyado upang mapanatili ang pagiging malaya at bukas ng Indo-Pacific para sa lahat. Tiniyak din ng opisyal na handa itong tulungan ang Taiwan sakaling kailangan itong ipagtanggol ang kanilang sarili.
You know that this theater has been described as our pacing challenge. And I described it as our pacing challenge because the PRC is the only country in the world that has the intent and increasingly the capability to change the rules-based international order. And so, you know, we want to see this region, this area remain open to freedom of navigation and the ability to fly the skies and international airways whenever we want to. We want to see that remain.
Susunod, sospek sa pagpatay sa healthcare CEO sa New York, kinasuhan na.
Google nag-develop na isang bagong quantum computing chip.
At Ariana Grande nominated para sa Golden Globes. Yan po at iba pang mga balita sa pagbabalik ng Mata ng Agila International.
Well, you know, we were asked by the
affecting a total of 54,000 people.
So yes, we are ready to support the
Hey everyone, I just want to make sure that you guys are all checking out Art Academy on Net 25. Great show, great people. Check them out.
Let's get together. Sunday 25. Sunday 25.
Nagbabalik ang mata ng Agila International sa pagpapatuloy po ng ating mga balita ngayong gabi. Inararo ng pampasaherong bus ang higit sa 20 sasakyan sa Mumbai, India matapos mawala ng kontrol ang driver ng nasabing sasakyan. Ayon sa Mumbai civic officials, nasa 7 katao ang nasawi sa insidente habang lagpas sa 40 naman ang nasaktan. Naganap ang trahedya bandang 9:30 ng gabi sa kahabaan ng SG Barve Marga sa Kurla. Naaresto naman ang driver ng bus na kinilala na si Sanjay More. Kinumpirma ng mga pulis na nakainom ang driver habang nagmamaneho ito. Kinasuhan na ng pulisya si More ng culpable homicide.
Gumagawa na ng mga hakbang ang mga opisyal ng gobyerno ng New Zealand upang ipagbawal ang greyhound racing sa bansa. Ayon kay Racing Minister Winston Peters, hindi katanggap-tanggap ang mataas na bilang ng mga sugatan at namamatay na greyhound dogs sa New Zealand. Binigyan lamang ni Peters ng 20-month transition period ang mga kinauukulan upang i-rehome ng mga racing organizations ang 3,000 greyhounds.
Sa isang temporary shelter sa Mexico City, tinitiis ng mga US-bound migrants ang hirap ng kanilang sitwasyon. Bukod po sa gutom, may ilan na ring nagkakasakit. Inaalala rin ng mga migrante ang sobrang lamig ng temperatura sa kanilang paligid. Narito po si Angeli Guzman para sa detalye ng balita.
Nakikipaglaban sa kagat ng matinding lamig ang mga migranteng ito sa Mexico City. Lula ng mga tolda sa La Soledad Square, hindi malaman ng mga magulang kung paano ang gagawin, lalo na't nagsimula nang magkasakit ang mga bata.
No aguantamos mucho el frío de noche y en el día es puro calor, pues, y en veces que vienen regalando cubrecama para arroparnos, pues. Ya nosotros tenemos 7 meses aquí porque ya nosotros nos deportaron de allá de Texas. Ya tenemos 7 meses aquí, bueno, y aquí luchando, pues, aquí en Ciudad de México. Bueno, y el frío que no se soporta en las noches.
Noong Huwebes, nag-issue ng double alert activation ang Integral Risk Management and Civil Protection para sa mga temperaturang 1 to 3 degrees Celsius.
Ahorita, por el momento, estamos viviendo en un rancho. Y bueno, el frío tenemos que arroparnos como con 5 cobijas encima, abrigar a los niños. Y ahorita la peste, o sea, la tos que está viniendo mucho por ahí. Y últimamente, bueno, los niños ahorita me la está siguiendo con gripa y todo eso, pues, pero a través del frío.
Ilan sa mga migrante, bata man o matanda, ay nagkakasya sa mga bigay ng kumot, damit at sapin sa paa.
Todos los hermanos y hermanas de aquí pueden ver que viven en lugares improvisados, son básicamente algunas tablas, bolsas, entonces son inclemencias horrorosas en las que viven, con muy poca dignidad humana, porque aparte cuando llueve siempre están mojados, no tienen un colchón adecuado en donde estar o dormir secos, y ahorita que venía justo la época de frío pensamos en eso, que iban a necesitar cobijas.
Kamakailan ay nagpahayag ng pagkabahala ang US-bound migrants na naglalakbay kasama ng caravans. Sila na tumatakas mula sa political at economic instability sa Venezuela. Nagbabanta kasi sa kanilang pagnanais na makarating sa US ang binitawang pangako ng panibagong administrasyon ukol sa paghihigpit sa mga border ng US at asylum dito sa sandaling manumpa si President-elect Donald Trump sa 20 ng Enero 2025. NJ de Guzman para sa mata ng Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
Isang dating United States Marine Sergeant na nanakal upang awati ng isang pasahero sa New York City subway ang hinatulang not guilty sa kasong criminally negligent homicide. Isang desisyon na ikinasakit ng loob ng pamilya ng biktima. Si Chantel Santos para sa balita.
Noong Lunes, pinasyahan ng not guilty si dating U.S. Marine Sergeant Daniel Penny sa reklamong criminally negligent homicide kaugnay ng pagpatay nito kay Jordan Neely na isang homeless man na nakasakay sa isang New York City subway car. Sinabi ng 26 na taong gulang na si Penny na hindi niya sinasadyang patayin ang 30 taong gulang na si Neely nang magkaengkwentro ang mga ito sa isang uptown train noong 1 ng Mayo 2023. Si Neely ay may kasaysayan ng sakit sa isip. Hindi tumestigo si Penny sa trial na nagsimula noong Oktubre. Samantala, sinabi naman ng ama ni Neely na may problema sa sistema ng batas. Nanawagan ito sa taong bayan na umaksyon laban sa pasya.
I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
Dinismiss din ng judge ang kasong manslaughter in the second degree laban kay Penny ng 2 beses na sinabi ng mga hurado na hindi sila magkasundo sa pasya. Umani ang pagpatay na ito ng atensyon at marami ang nagsasabi ng si Neely na isang Black American ay biktima ng white vigilante. Ang iba naman, kabilang ang ilang Republicans ay nagsasabing bayani si Penny. Ayon sa abogado ni Neely, ang pagwawalang sala kay Penny ay patunay na hindi maaasahan ang sistema.
We're devastated, upset, angry, hurt. Everybody that's pissed off at this verdict, I challenge you to go outside today and help one person. Right on. That's my challenge. If you're angry, if you're hurt, go help one person. That's how we beat the system. That's how we turn this around, by being there for each other.
Samantala, may mga nagsimulang magprotesta bago pa man ibaba ang pasya. Para sa kanila, lumampas si Penny sa nararapat.
You're fake, you're a fraud, and you use a country, you manipulate, and you are not right. If he was in the army, he should have known. He should have known that it's a duty, it's a certain things you do. It's a proper way. He knew he went past the mark.
Not the Army, he was in the Marines.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's a service.
It's a big difference.
It's a service. It doesn't matter. It's the government. All of it is the same, just different branches. Now, how was he innocent? Tell us. Explain it. We're listening.
Chantel Santos para sa mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
Sinampahan na ng kasong murder si Luigi Mangione, ang suspect sa pagpatay kay United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson sa New York City. 5 araw bago nahuli ng mga pulis si Mangione na nagtago pa sa Altoona, Pennsylvania. Ayon po sa inisyal na ulat, nakita ng isang customer at empleyado ang suspect na tahimik na kumakain sa isang sikat na fast food chain. Napansin nilang kumukha ng suspect ang litrato ng gunman ni Thompson, kaya kaagad silang tumawag ng pulis. Kaya nahuli naman itong si Mangione. Bukod sa kasong murder, sinampahan din siya ng kasong gun and forgery charges. Sinabi ni Mangione na naiintindihan niya ang mga kasong binasa laban sa kanya. Samantala, tumanggi muna magbigay ng komento ang pamilya ni Luigi Mangione ukol sa insidente.
Sa Canada, pahinga sa buwis ng 2 buwan ang mga mamimili ng ilang mga produkto. Ito ay bilang tulong ng pamahalaang makaalwas kahit kaunti ang mga mamamayan doon. Alamin natin ang mga detalye mula kay Cherry Recolizado.
Simula December 14, hindi na kailangang magbayad ng buwis ng mga Canadian para sa ilang produkto at mga pagkain sa loob ng 2 buwan. Ito ay isang hakbang para magbigay ng ginhawa sa mga individual at mga pamilya sa gitna ng pagtaas ng presyo ng mga bilihin at mga suliraning pang-ekonomiya. Inaasahan na pansamantalang aalisin ng mga establishmento ang Goods and Services Tax o GST at Harmonized Sales Tax o HST sa mga pagkain sa restaurant, prepared foods, snacks, inumin at mga produktong pambata gaya ng damit, diaper, car seat, laruan at libro. Ang bawas buwis na ito ay inaasahang tatagal hanggang February 15, 2025. Ang ilang mga imported goods ay mababawasan rin ng buwis sa panahong ito. Ang pagbawas ng buwis na ito sa pagtatapos ng taon ay tinatayang makakatulong sa mga Canadian na makatipid ng humigit kumulang $1.6 billion sa federal taxes. Ang mga pamilya dito sa Ontario ay makakatipid ng higit sa $100 sa GST at higit sa $260 sa HST sa susunod na 2 buwan. Ayon kay Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, ang hakbang na ito ay makakatulong sa mga Canadian na magkaroon ng mas maraming pera sa kanilang mga bulsa upang sila ay makapag-ipon at makabili ng kanilang mga pangangailangan. Cherry Recolisado, Toronto, Ontario, para sa Net25 News.
Matapos namang lumabas ang isang ulat na bibilhin ng Cadbury ang Hershey chocolate, ay tumaas ng higit sa 10% ang shares ng Hershey. Kung matutuloy ang buyout, posible anilang umabot ang sales ng chocolate partnership na ito sa $50 billion kada taon. Parehong tumanggi na magbigay ng komento ang Hershey at ang Mondelez International na siyang nagmamay-ari sa Cadbury kung totoo nga ba ang buyout. Subalit, ayon naman sa ulat ng Bloomberg, nasa preliminary stages pa lamang ang usapan at kailangan pa ang approval ng Hershey Trust Company dahil ito ang may voting control sa US chocolate maker.
Naglunsad ang China ng investigasyon laban sa US chipmaker ng Nvidia na mistulang ganti sa sanctions na ipinataw sa Chinese technology. Ayon sa Chinese state media, iniimbestigahan ng Nvidia dahil sa posibleng paglabag nito sa anti-monopoly law ng bansa. Kasama sa pagsisiyasat ang halos $7 billion acquisition ng Nvidia sa Mellanox Technologies, isang Israeli-American supplier ng computer networking products. Wala pang opisyal na pahayag mula sa Nvidia, ngunit hindi ito ang unang beses na isinailalim ang kumpanya sa investigasyon. Noong simula ng 2024, inimbestigahan rin ng US ang Nvidia kaugnay ng antitrust laws na nagresulta sa pagsunod ng kumpanya sa mga regulasyon, kabilang ang pagbabawal sa pag-export ng advanced chips sa China.
Isang dambuhalang solar thermal power station ang naging pundasyon ng Shanghai sa China para maisulong ang clean energy. Ayon sa lokal na ulat, naka-install ang higit sa 4,000 heliostats mirror na nagsisilbing harvester ng solar thermal energy. Makikita ang photovoltaic park sa Golmud City sa Haixi, Mongolian and Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture. May kapasidad ang naturang power station na makapag-generate ng 24 hours sa supply ng kuryente ng tuloy-tuloy. Batay naman po sa kalkulasyon ng mga otoridad, ang annual power generation ng power station ay kayang umabot sa 120 million kilowatt hours.
Kilalanin ang bagong na-develop na quantum computing chip ng Google na sinasabing makasasagot sa problema ng quantum computing. Ayon sa Google, ang Willow ay may taglay na 105 qubits o quantum bits, isang unit of information sa quantum computing sa pagproseso ng impormasyon. Paliwanag din tech giant, mabilis ang qubits pero prone ito sa mga errors kung kaya't kanilang binuo ang Willow na may mataas na bilang ng qubits. Saad pa ng kumpanya, mas mababa ang magiging error sa pagproseso ng impormasyon kapag mas mataas ang bilang ng qubits ng isang chip. Dahil rito, maraming karibal na kumpanya ng Google ang gumagawa na rin ng sarili nilang quantum computing chips para kalabanin ang Willow.
Mahaharap sa matinding hamon ng Philippine men's football team para sa AFC Asian Cup Saudi Arabia 2027 qualifiers sa susunod na taon. Sa isinagawang draw nitong araw ng Lunes sa AFC House sa Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, ay nahanay ang Pilipinas sa Tajikistan, Maldives at Timor-Leste para sa third and final round ng qualifiers na sisimulang laruin sa March 2025. Unang makakaharap nila ang Maldives sa March 26 at November 18, 2025 na susundan ng Tajikistan sa June 10, 2025 at March 31, 2026 at Timor-Leste sa October 9 at 14, 2025. Ang Group B naman ay binubuo ng Lebanon, Yemen, Bhutan at Brunei Darussalam, habang ang Group C ay binubuo ng India, Hong Kong, Singapore at Bangladesh, samantalang ang Group D ay binubuo ng Thailand, Turkmenistan, Chinese Taipei at Sri Lanka.
Emosyonal ang singer na si Ariana Grande matapos na manomina ito sa Golden Globes. Nakuha niya kasi sa unang pagkakataon ang Golden Globe nomination para sa Best Supporting Female Actor in a Motion Picture para sa role na pop star sa Wicked. Makakasama rin niya ang kanyang co-star na si Cynthia Erivo para sa kategorya ng Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Motion Picture. Sa social media account ito ay sinabi nitong labis itong natutuwa at para sa kanya ay isang malaking karangalan ang makilala ng Golden Globes. Makatutunggali nito si kapwa singer na Selena Gomez sa parehas na kategorya sa pagganap nito sa pelikulang Emilia Perez at sa ibang kategorya naman ay nominado rin si Gomez sa Only Murders in the Building. Sa Best Female Actor naman in a Motion Picture ay maglalaban sina Pamela Anderson sa The Last Showgirl, Angelina Jolie sa Maria, Nicole Kidman para sa Baby Girl, Tilda Swinton para sa The Room Next Door, Fernanda Torres para sa I'm Still Here at Kate Winslet para sa kanyang performance sa Lee. Sa mga major awards naman ay maglalaban sina Adrian Brody, Timothée Chalamet, Daniel Craig, Coleman Domingo, Ray Fiennes at Sebastian Stan para sa Best Male Actor in a Motion Picture. Gaganapin ang awarding sa darating na January 5 sa Los Angeles.
Itinanggi na ng rapper na si Jay-Z ang aligasyong mayroon itong minules siyang 13 anyos na dalagita kasama ang kapwa rapper na si Sean Diddy Combs. Base sa reklamo ng isang babaeng bukod kay Sean Combs ay kasama rin umanong nanghali sa kanya ang rapper na si Jay-Z o Sean Carter sa tunay na buhay. Sinabi ng rapper na si Jay-Z na hindi na niya palalampasin pa ang insidente at kanyang sasampahan ng kasong kriminal ang nagrereklamo. Base sa testimonya ng biktima, 13 anyos pa lamang siya noong nangyari ang insidente kung saan sumama lamang siya sa after party matapos ang Video Music Awards noong taong 2000. Doon na siya umano binigyan ng pampatulog at dinala sa isang kwarto. Matapos ay doon na dumating si Carter, Combs at isa pang hindi pinangalanang artista. Una nang nadiin ang rapper sa mga kasong sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy at prostitution na may kinalaman sa kaso. Naghain na ito ng guilty plea sa mga kaso at mariing itinanggi ang lahat ng mga nasa 30 kaso.
Health is wealth, ika nga, pero sa China pwede na ring maging source of income ang pakikiisa sa healthy activity tulad ng mountain climbing. Nag-boom kasi ang pag-hire ng isang climbing buddy na susuporta o sasama sa iyo sa pag-akyat sa mga bundok sa China. Kilala ito sa Chinese term na peipa o accompany to climb. Karaniwang ang mga individual na walang experience sa mountain climbing ang gumagamit ng ganitong serbisyo. Ang karaniwang sasama sa iyo dito ay mga kabataang kalalakihan na athletic o kaya ay mga military veterans. Mahahanap sila sa mga Chinese social media platforms katulad ng Douyin at Xiaohongshu. Umaabot ng 200 hanggang 600 yuan o $30 to $85 kada trip ang karaniwang fees na hinihingi nila. Ayon sa kalkulasyon ng isang climbing buddy na si Chen, nakaipon siya ng halos 20,000 won o $2,800 po yan kada buwan sa loob ng 40 trips. Anya, mas doble pa ito sa halaga ng average monthly salary sa China.
Nakasakay na po ba kayo sa isang train na kayang bumilis hanggang 155 miles per hour at matulog na rin kayo sa biyahe? Aba, tara na at ating alamin ang sleeper train ng China. Ayon sa China Railway Service, kayang dalhin ng sleeper train ang pasahero nito ng overnight mula sa West Kowloon Station patungong Beijing West Railway. Dati, ang karaniwang oras ng biyahe sa pagitan ng China at Hong Kong ay nasa higit 24 oras, subalit dahil sa sleeper train, naging 12 hours na lamang ang biyahe. Samantala, halos 8 oras naman ang pinakamabilis na biyahe ng tren. Ang tren ay may 19 na carriage kasama na rito ang 13 sleeper cars, 2 second-class seating cars at isang dining car. May seating capacity rin ito na higit sa 600. Nakabase naman ang presyo ng pamasahe mula $120 up to $193 para sa Hong Kong-Beijing route at $88 up to $273 para sa Hong Kong-Shanghai route. Bumabiyahe lamang ang tren mula araw ng Biyernes hanggang Lunes.
Ayan, ikaw ba, sasakay ka ba sa ganyan?
Pwede, pero masarap naman din siguro, hindi mo mapapansin, ano? Parang ang natry ko lang yung bullet train naman ng Japan.
Ako din.
Napakabilis, ano? Parang,
Sobra.
At saka, alam ba, nagtatrabaho pa ako nun, type ako, susulat pa ako.
So kalma siya, di ba? Kasi nga very smooth yung daanan nun eh. Pero ito, hindi ako sure kasi parang hindi ba parang ma-anxious ka or hindi ako sanay matulog sa biyahe. Yung mag-work gaya ng sinasabi mo, 'di ba, na nakagawa ka parang kung ano-ano habang nandun sa train. Pero yung matulog, parang I'm not so sure.
Dapat siguro piliin mo yung oras ng biyahe na matutulog ka na.
Oo, 'di ba? Pwede.
Diba?
Yung anto ka na rin naman kasi talaga.
Ako siguro ang mas hindi. Balikan natin, Nina, no? Isang article natin, yung item natin kanina. Ang hindi nakakatulog ngayon siguro si Sean Diddy Combs.
Ay, oo.
Dahil matatandaan din, nag-plead po siya ng not guilty sa lahat po ng 13 na charges set against him, but he was denied bail pa rin. Tapos ngayon naman nasasangkot naman itong rapper na ito na si Jay-Z.
Na kamakailan lang ipinag-usapan natin na 'di ba parang inilagay sa pedestal itong si Beyonce dahil nga hindi siya sumasali o pumapatol sa mga kontrobersiya, 'di ba? Ngayon naman yung asawa niya sangkot. Minsan curious ako kung paano niya i-handle yung mga ganitong bagay.
And she was awarded to Beyonce, 'di ba? Most influential pa.
Kaya nga, while not engaging in controversies. So,
pero
mahirap
ito,
yan.
hindi na daw palalagpasin. May mga bagay talaga na hindi natin dapat palagpasin, 'di ba?
Tsaka sabi ni Jay-Z, 'di ba, they are going to have to sit their children down and talk to them about the whole thing. So parang nafe-feel bad daw siya doon sa parang loss of innocence ng mga bata. Kasi ang babata pa nila, and yet kailangan nilang harapin kasi tatay nila yung involved.
But let's see how justice would prevail talaga. Tignan natin ang wheels of justice dyan sa kaso ito. A lot of people are invested. Tignan mga tayo dito, halos, diba? May bagong development talaga nakantabi na tayo. Why? Because these rappers, these artists are very influential in molding the minds of the youth nowadays. Diba?
So dapat
imagine most influential nga si Beyonce.
Diba? Kaya nga sinasabi natin, diba, while you're up there, dapat gamitin mo yun sa tama. Para yung mga nai-inspire mo, ma-inspire mong gumawa ng mabuti.
Tama ka dyan, Nina. Ako, abangan po natin ang mga susunod pang kabanata dahil for sure matagal-tagal pa ang kumbaga teleseryeng ito ng buhay
nito.
At tandaan po narito kami ni Nina para maghatid ng balita sa inyo saan mang dako ng mundo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes. Muli ako po si Rikki Mathay.
Ako si Nina Rikki Alagao Flores. Ito po ang Mata ng Agila International. Para naman sa iba pang mga balitang nanggaling rin sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo, punta po tayo kay Alma Angeles para sa Mata ng Agila World News. Take it away, Alma.
Thank you, Nina and Rikki. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alma Angeles for Net 25 World News. On tonight's headlines. Negros Occidental residents are urged to take precautions as Mount Canlaon erupted on Monday, sending ash plumes into the sky. President Marcos Jr. has assured the public that the government is now ready to provide assistance to affected families.
So yes, we are ready to support the families who have been evacuated outside the 6-kilometer danger zone. So talagang pumutok na eh. And so now DNR, DOST are continuing to monitor air quality.
President Marcos Jr. made it clear today that the country will keep up its resupply missions in the South China Sea, despite a recent clash with Chinese vessels. He also emphasized that the Philippines has no intention of escalating tensions in the West Philippine Sea.
We are not at war. We don't need Navy warships. All we are doing is resupplying our fishermen, protecting our territorial rights. Again, it will be provocative and will be seen as an escalation. We don't do that. The Philippines does not escalate tensions.
Syrians and the world are beginning to deal with the fallout from President Bashar al-Assad's overthrow. Many Syrians who sought asylum elsewhere on the globe to escape Assad's atrocities are getting ready to return to their homeland. And political leaders nervously watch to see how the rebel groups who took over plan to govern the country. And public anger continues to boil over in South Korea as demonstrators flood the streets, calling for President Yoon Suk-yeol's removal from office following his controversial martial law declaration.
The president's statement cannot be that short and just saying sorry. It's not supposed to end just like that.
And the news starts now. Syrians and the world are beginning to deal with the fallout from President Bashar al-Assad's overthrow. Many Syrians who sought asylum elsewhere on the globe to escape Assad's atrocities are getting ready to return to their homeland. And political leaders nervously watch to see how the rebel groups who took over plan to govern the country. Thomas I. Likeness for more.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says the end of Assad's regime is a defeat for all those who enabled its barbarity and corruption. Blinken singled out Iran, Hezbollah, and Russia. But he worries that the Islamic State will try to take advantage of Syria's instability and reestablish itself there.
This moment presents a historic opportunity, but it also carries considerable risks. History shows how quickly moments of promise can descend into conflict and violence. ISIS will try to use this period to reestablish its capabilities, to create safe havens. As our precision strikes over the weekend demonstrate, we are determined not to let that happen.
Blinken says the U.S. is reaching out to the rebels to see how it can help support the Syrian people. He says it's imperative that the new rulers protect civilians, respect human rights, and preserve the state's services and institutions. So, what's his observation so far?
Statements by rebel leaders to these ends are very welcome. But of course, the real measure of their commitment is not just what they say, but what they do. The end of this regime is a defeat for all who enabled its barbarity and its corruption, none more than Iran, Hezbollah, and Russia. So this moment presents a historic opportunity, but it also carries considerable risks. History shows how quickly moments of promise can descend into conflict and violence. ISIS will try to use this period to reestablish its capabilities, to create safe havens. As our precision strikes over the weekend demonstrate, we are determined not to let that happen.
Ultimately, Blinken says the Syrian people are the ones to choose their future. He says as they make that decision, the U.S. will do what it can to help them. Over the decades, millions of people fled Syria seeking safety in other countries. Now that a 13-year-old civil war is over and 54 years of brutal rule by the Assad family has ended, they're assessing to see if it's safe to return to their homeland. British Syrian activists Walid Safur left Syria 40 years ago and took up residence in the UK. At 74, he's already made up his mind, and he says he wants to visit the land he left as soon as he can.
The first thing is to go and to visit the grave and the tomb of my mother. I was prevented from speaking to her before she died, to listen to her last words. This criminal regime prevented us even from to speak to our family in Syria.
Others living in Europe aren't so anxious to travel back. They say it's too soon to make that decision. But these people who've been living in neighboring Lebanon don't have those fears. They're packed and on their way home. For many who stayed and endured the brutality of the Assad years, the nightmare continues. Here at Sednaya prison, people are scouring the filthy cells of the lockup. They're looking for any sign of long-detained relatives. This woman, Instar Al-Jaber, says she last visited the prison in 2014. She says, they told me my brother is dead and not to come back. They said, your brother is a terrorist and he died. So why is she here now? Al-Jaber says she came hoping to find her brother and that she doesn't believe that he's dead. In other parts of Syria, life is beginning to change. In Aleppo, one of the first towns to fall to the rebels, people are starting to venture onto the streets again. Markets are reopening. But there are still challenges in Aleppo. There's been no electricity for almost a week, and there's still no tap water. For the country as a whole, Middle East analyst Bader al-Saif says while people are celebrating the end of the Assad years, the future leaves them uneasy.
We're still processing. There has been a lot of things that took place, and it's a lot of mixed emotions to those stakeholders that are, those that are concerned, the Syrians themselves. And it's the end of one regime that has not been so kind to a cross segment and a wide segment of the Syrian population, with some apprehension to what's to come.
That apprehension is shared around the globe as we wait to see how Syria will evolve and if this new regime will bring stability to the troubled country. Thomas I. Likeness, Net 25 World News.
The United States is ramping up efforts to locate an American journalist who vanished in Syria more than a decade ago, dispatching its top hostage negotiator to Beirut this week in a renewed push to bring him home.
First, there are intensive efforts underway by the United States to find Austin Tice and bring him home to his family. Our special envoy for hostage affairs, Roger Carstens, is in Beirut, and we are pressing all parties in the region to support this effort. We encourage anyone who has information about Austin's whereabouts to contact the FBI immediately. They have made clear that they will provide a reward to information that leads to being able to return him home. As Secretary Blinken has said directly to Austin's family, including in the past few days, we will not rest until he is returned home safely to his loved ones. So Roger's approach when it comes to returning home Americans who are unjustly detained has always been to really do everything possible to leave no stone unturned, to gather information from wherever he can and press anyone who is willing to take action to get American citizens home. And he is in Beirut to talk with people in the region, to talk with parties in the region, to collect information, and to try to find out where Austin Tice is and get him home as soon as possible. The president has emphasized that as a priority. Secretary Blinken has emphasized it as a priority, and Roger is there to carry out that.
Tice, a former U.S. Marine turned freelance journalist, was 31 when he disappeared in Damascus in August 2012. He had been covering Syria's uprising against President Bashar al-Assad, who recently fled to Russia following a devastating 13-year civil war that ended his family's 5-decade grip on power. Over the summer, U.S. intelligence received reports from a Lebanese source claiming to have seen Tice alive alive and suggesting his captors had links to Hezbollah. However, a former U.S. official familiar with the intelligence says verifying such reports has proven challenging as conflicting information about Tice's whereabouts has emerged over the years. Previous secret negotiations with the Assad government yielded no results. According to a source close to those discussions, Syrian officials demanded concessions, including U.S. troops withdrawals, in exchange for proof that Tice was alive. And these talks were facilitated by Lebanon. Negros Occidental residents are urged to take precautions as Mount Canlaon erupted on Monday, sending ash plumes into the sky. The Provincial Health Office has warned of potential health risks associated with ashfall, including respiratory problems and eye irritation. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, reported that ashfall has affected neighboring provinces such as Iloilo, Guimaras, and Antique. President Marcos Jr. has assured the public that the government is now ready to provide assistance to affected families, and the Department of Social Welfare and Development is already on the ground to oversee relief operations.
So yes, we are ready to support the families who have been evacuated outside the 6-kilometer danger zone. So talagang pumutok na eh. And so now DNR, DOST are continuing to monitor air quality to see if we need to do more in terms of evacuating kung maging dangerous ng levels ng toxic gases na lumalabas dun sa bulkan. So yes, we're ready. We know what to do, and we have already started to send food packs, and we already started to send all of the things that we bring to those who are in evacuation centers. So,
President Marcos Jr. made it clear today that the country will keep up its resupply missions in the South China Sea, despite a recent clash with Chinese vessels. He also emphasized that the Philippines has no intention of escalating tensions in the West Philippine Sea. This statement comes after an incident on December 4, when Chinese Coast Guard vessels used water cannons and sideswiped a Philippine Fisheries Bureau boat that was delivering supplies to Filipino fishermen near the Scarborough Shoal, a crucial fishing area. The Philippine Coast Guard also reported facing blocking, shadowing, and dangerous maneuvers from a Chinese Navy vessel. President Marcos confirmed that the Philippines would not send its Navy ships to the area in order to avoid further provocation and escalation.
we are going to continue to perform our mission. We will never be part of an escalation in the situation in the West Philippine Sea. If we look at the evolution of the situation in the West Philippine Sea, the Philippines has never been an agent of escalation of tensions. So we will not do that. We are not at war. We don't need Navy warships. All we are doing is resupplying our fishermen, protecting our territorial rights. Again, it will be provocative and will be seen as an escalation. We don't do that. The Philippines does not escalate tensions. Quite the opposite. The Philippines always tries to bring down the level of tension.
In response to the incident, the Philippines lodged a diplomatic protest against China, which claims nearly all of the South China Sea. China's embassy in Manila has yet to respond to the protest, but China's Coast Guard had previously stated that Philippine ships dangerously approached China's territorial waters around the Scarborough Shoal.
Meanwhile, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin reaffirmed what he called his country's ironclad deterrence commitment to Japan and South Korea in the face of challenges posed by China in the East China Sea. Austin also met Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba on Tuesday to discuss regional issues. Austin flew into Japan on Sunday after canceling a planned trip to South Korea following President Yoon Suk-yeol's botched attempt last week to impose a martial law.
Now, we're clear-eyed about the challenges to peace and stability in this region and worldwide. And that includes coercive behavior by the People's Republic of China in the East China Sea and the South China Sea and elsewhere in the region. But we are meeting these challenges with confidence and resolve, and we remain committed to advancing our historic trilateral cooperation with the Republic of Korea. And let me be clear, America's extended deterrence commitment to Japan and to the Republic of Korea is ironclad.
この最近の地域情勢を含めましていろんなことにつきまして会談を実施したいと思います。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
South Korea's parliament has passed a controversial budget bill, cutting billions from the government's original proposal, despite fierce opposition from the ruling party. The opposition-controlled National Assembly approved a 673.3 trillion won budget. That's about $470 billion, trimming more than 4 trillion won from the government's plan. The move came without an input from cabinet ministries or the ruling party. Opposition leader Lee Jae-myung says the cuts were necessary to address what he calls unease and crisis in the nation. But government officials warn these reductions could hamper essential services and delay aid to small businesses and vulnerable citizens. The budget battle has intensified political tensions in South Korea, Asia's fourth largest economy. President Yoon Suk-yeol briefly imposed martial law last week, citing the budget stalemate as one of the factors. According to the opposition Democratic Party, the cuts mainly target reserve funds and spending for the presidential office and prosecutors. They suggest any urgent funding needs could be met through a supplementary budget later. However, economists are raising red flags. They say reducing government spending could further strain South Korea's economy, which has already been struggling with weak exports and low consumer spending. And public anger continues to boil over in South Korea as demonstrators flood the streets, calling for President Yoon Suk-yeol's removal from office following his controversial martial law declaration. Take a look.
검찰은 반드시 윤석열에 대한 조사를
Prosecutors must conduct a thorough investigation on Yoon Suk-yeol. And for everybody that can, I think everyone should gather at the protest to push for his impeachment instead of letting him resign. We should do a referendum and impeach him.
국민 투표도 후반에 무조건 진행이 될 텐데 무조건 탄핵을 시켜야 된다고 생각합니다.
대통령 담화나 이런 게 그렇게 The president's statement cannot be that short and just saying sorry. It's not supposed to end just like that. The people were so scared that night and couldn't sleep well for the next few days, but he just tried to end it with a few words. I don't think it's the right way to end the situation, and I'm very disappointed about that.
저도 그거에 대해서 불만인 것 같습니다.
Over the last few days, the streets of Seoul have resembled its concert arenas. Customized light sticks popular with fans of K-pop are commonplace among demonstrators calling for the impeachment of President Yoon Suk-yeol after his failed martial law attempt last week. Since then, tens of thousands of protesters have braved the cold of South Korea in December to gather outside its National Assembly. The protesters want Yoon out of office, and their chants and light stick choreography to get people riled up have gone viral on social media. So have flags with memes and messages, mostly from younger demonstrators. Protest MC Park Min-ju has strategically adopted catchy K-pop beats to keep the crowd energized and engaged.
We will continue to hold the protest rallies, so I wanted to make people get excited to join the rallies without getting tired. Although we are in a serious situation, I prepared K-pop instrumentals and slogans for them to cheer people up.
Ahead of an impeachment vote over the weekend, protesters chanted "Impeach Yoon Suk-yeol" to the beat of Whiplash by popular K-pop group aespa. It's all the latest flavor in a long, rich history of protests seen in South Korea since democracy took root there in the 80s. Past protests, including the 2016 impeachment of former President Park Geun-hye, were defined by candlelight rallies. Seoul-based music critic Kim Do-hun says K-pop light sticks offer a more vibrant and durable symbol of resistance, and that the pop music helps bring together protesters younger and older.
지금 현재로서 세대를 아우르고
For now, K-pop is the music that can attract every generation immediately. That's why many K-pop fans are gathering at the protest, and protest leaders are using K-pop songs.
적극적으로 활용하고 있다고 볼 수 있겠죠.
And the news continues here on Net 25. We'll be right back.
This Sunday on Cine Throwback.
President and Mrs. Kennedy arrived in Fort Worth from Houston.
I want everybody downstairs to see the president.
President Kennedy is being rushed to Parkland Hospital.
Got something? It's the president. He's coming in.
Just picked up somebody in Oak Cliff. They think he's the shooter.
The Dallas police just announced the arrest of Lee H. Oswald.
We had the assassin of the president in our office. We had him, and we could have stopped him.
This was not supposed to happen.
This Sunday, 12 noon, here on Net 25.
Let's get together, so Net 25.
Luigi Mangione, the suspect in a Midtown Manhattan murder, is now behind bars in Pennsylvania, held without bail. And just into our newsroom, the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections has released a new photo of Mangione in custody. The major break in the case came about 300 miles from the crime scene in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where police say they recognized Mangione at a local McDonald's. When they approached him and asked if he'd been to New York recently, Mangione reportedly began shaking. The 26-year-old is facing 5 charges, including carrying a firearm without a license and forgery. Here's more on that story.
The suspected killer of the CEO of United Healthcare was arraigned and charged with murder late Monday. The arrest of 26-year-old Luigi Mangione in an Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's ended a 5-day manhunt after what police have called a brazen targeted attack. Brian Thompson was shot outside a Manhattan hotel last week by a masked man who waited for him. At a press conference with prosecutors late Monday, Altoona's deputy chief of police described Mangione's reaction during his arrest.
The officer quickly recognized the male as the suspect from the shooting. And within several seconds of the first contact, he had asked the suspect if he had been in New York City recently. And that really invoked a physical reaction from the suspect. He became visibly nervous, kind of shaking at that question.
Police say Mangione was found with a large sum of cash, fake IDs, written documents, and several electronic devices. One of the fake IDs matched the gunman's ID used to check into a Manhattan hostel prior to the shooting. The police also found a black ghost gun, an untraceable firearm assembled from parts, in his backpack, loaded with a magazine and silencer. Pennsylvania authorities say the gun, clothing, and mask were similar to those used by the killer. Mangione was denied bail after Pennsylvania prosecutors argued that he was a flight risk.
Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID, matching the ID our suspect used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset.
Thompson's murder unleashed a wave of frustration from Americans who have seen their health insurance claims or care denied. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro said he understood that frustration, but rejected the glorification of the suspect in some circles online.
The suspect here who shot at that CEO and killed that CEO is a coward, not a hero. And we need to make sure that in this country we get back to having a civil discourse about our differences.
Mangione graduated as valedictorian in 2016 and earned 2 engineering degrees from the University of Pennsylvania in 2020.
Thank you for all the time and love you've put into our lives. You've instilled values in us, fed and clothed us, and simply been there for us every step of the way.
The Mangione family said in a statement they're shocked by Luigi's arrest. They added they couldn't comment further and offered prayers to Thompson's family.
Staying in the U.S., President-elect Donald Trump has laid out bold plans to tackle illegal immigration during his second term. In an interview with NBC News, his first sit-down since winning re-election, Trump said he intends to end birthright citizenship, a practice protected by the 14th Amendment. And this guarantees citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil, even if their parents are undocumented. Take a look.
Trump claimed that birthright citizenship is unique to the U.S., though it's actually offered in at least 34 other countries, including Canada, Mexico, and Brazil. He also doubled down on plans to deport millions of unauthorized immigrants, starting with those who have criminal records. You need laws and rules. They came here illegally, Trump said, arguing it's unfair to those who waited years to immigrate legally. Interestingly, Trump also signaled he's open to working with Democrats to address the status of Dreamers, people brought to the U.S. as children. We have to do something about the Dreamers, he said, noting that many are now middle-aged with jobs or businesses and don't even speak the language of their parents' home countries. This tough stance on immigration comes as thousands of migrants continue to try to cross the border, unsure what lies ahead under Trump's next administration.
Siempre tienen más miedo de migración que nadie. Te estás escondiendo por caminos donde no debes entrar de huida de migración. Entonces ellos dicen que están para salvaguardarte, pero en realidad te están empujando a lugares muy peligrosos y ahí es donde hay secuestros y hay todo lo que pasa. Yo lloro todos los días, yo me quiero ir para mi país.
I cry every day. I want to go back to my country. I don't want to stay here anymore. I suffer a lot. Men treat us badly and it's hard. They sometimes mistreat us. Sometimes people die. There is a lot of sexual abuse. Women are mistreated because they don't have money. It's horrible. This is horrible.
Está muy peligroso.
It's very dangerous. Many things have happened. There's women and a lot of children who are suffering.
This man said, "This is too much. We have wounds on our feet," and added that he longs for his home country.
Trump also hinted at potentially deporting American-born children of undocumented immigrants, saying, "I don't want to break up families." His solution? Deport families together. And this could impact millions, as there are about 4 million mixed-status families currently living in the U.S. Ending birthright citizenship would require amending the Constitution, a huge challenge. The last amendment, the 27th, was ratified back in 1992. Whether Trump pushes for such a dramatic change remains to be seen, but his latest remarks leave no doubt he is serious about overhauling U.S. immigration policies. Now the question is, will he deliver on these promises?
Google has made a major breakthrough in quantum computing, developing a new chip that can perform complex calculations in minutes. That would take supercomputers a millennia. Take a look.
Google says it has cracked a key challenge in quantum computing with a new chip capable of almost unfathomable speeds. The tech giant says it can perform a standard test in under 5 minutes, one that would take one of today's fastest supercomputers 10 septillion years. That's vastly longer than the universe has existed. Google says the results lend credence to theories that quantum computing taps into a multiverse of parallel universes. Dubbed Willow, the new chip has 105 so-called qubits, the building blocks of quantum machines. They are super fast, but also very error-prone, and can be upset by something as tiny as a passing subatomic particle. Now Google says it's found a way to make them more reliable, and says it can also correct errors in real time. That's a big step towards building a practical quantum computer. Google hopes such devices could one day deliver huge advances in fields like AI and medicine. In a blog post Monday, it said that, even under ideal conditions, it would take a regular computer 1 billion years to get the same results as Willow. The processors are being crafted at a new purpose-built facility in Santa Barbara, California. Rival firms have focused on building chips with more qubits, but Google says improving reliability is the key to delivering a workable system.
And with that, we end tonight's broadcast. For everyone here on Net 25, I'm Alma Angeles. Thank you all for joining us. Good night.
This program